Hi, my name is Natalie Reyes, and today my purpose is to inform my audience about the barriers of being homeless with mental health issues. I have a 20-year-old daughter that suffered from mental health issues during a time when we were homeless. Due to the fact that she was suffering from mental health issues, she was considered a liability, and therefore the shelters would not take us in. Homeless with mental health issues in the U.S. in 2015 was at about 25%. This means that about 250,000 people were homeless with mental health issues. Out of these 250,000 people, that means that roughly about maybe 10 out of 5 could be you, me. In this essence, my family was one of the people in this obstacle. Living with homelessness and mental health comes with the lack of support, confusion, and the feeling of abandonment has led to some suicides that could have been prevented with just help. And I want to take a moment of reflection, and I want everyone to look at yourself, and I want you to think that could be you. You could be one of those people that are suffering from this situation, whether it's homelessness, whether it's mental health, or whether it's having to deal with someone that's actually going through this. Homeless people with mental health, they have to overcome a lot. And the fact that is not a decreasing situation throughout the years. It has constantly increased. This needs to be heard. Right here, this says that in 2010, the AHAR, a typical homeless family, consists of a mother and 2 children. That was my situation. And people in families experiencing homelessness are more likely to be headed by a woman to identify as minorities. In 2010, it was saying that 37.2% of all homeless people were homeless and in shelters, transitional homes, or even on the streets. In a case or situation to where there was 567,334 persons or people in families were homeless in shelters, transitional homes, and programs between 2009 and 2010 was at 35.2%. And it has been constantly increasing throughout the years. This right here is my visual picture of the people, some people that may be on Skid Row that are homeless. And then my chart goes further to show that it shows that 42% were African Americans that were homeless, 31% were white, 12 were Hispanic and white, and 8.5% was multiple race. And this data continues to progress. And then going down to another year, it shows that the same charts, or the second chart shows that the percentage of how it increased. Right here it's at 42 and 31, and right here it goes up to 43 and 38%, and 15 and 8. So it's not decreasing, it's actually increasing. And the type of people that are affected by it a lot are veterans and people that, as I said, suffer from mental health issues. Okay. First, I'm going to discuss that the challenges that a homeless person with mental health struggles with is the lack of support. They have the lack of support because of the fact that they're denied from some of the resources because they're considered a liability. Being a liability means that they're responsible for any actions that they take out on anyone. If they have an episode and they harm someone, they are responsible for that. And because of the fact that they don't want to be held responsible for any incidents that occur, they have the right to turn them away unless they are on medication or they're seeing someone, a psychiatrist or someone that can vouch for them. And that's one of the issues. So they experience a lot of rejection, even from people in society every day that just walks by, and they may say something harsh about them and just walk off. They have feelings too. They are human beings. And then they may not have family support because they don't know how to reach out or communicate with their family to let them know that they are having help. And that was one of my daughter's situations. She did not know how to tell me that she needed help, but due to the fact that I was her mother and I paid attention to her everyday dealings, I knew that she needed help, and I tried to get her help. My next point that I would like to talk about is the lack of knowledge that people with mental health suffer with in homelessness. They don't always know their rights because they're not in the right state of mind. So they don't know that if they get help sometimes, or if they see a psychiatrist, or if they go to the doctor, they are more likely to get help, meaning finding help with different resources. So because they're suffering from whatever reason, depression, recreational drugs, or whatever it is, the system denies them that. And so people with mental health, they lose a lot from the community because of their lack of not knowing. They look for different ways to feed themselves. They don't know that they could go, some of them do, not all of them. Some of them don't know that they could go somewhere and get food. Not even a shelter, but like a pantry to get food. Some of them don't know that they are not to be denied medical help. Some of them, they don't have knowledge of that. They lose that sense of connection by having mental health problems. The last thing I'm going to go over is some of the outcomes that they struggle with in dealing with homelessness and mental health. Is sometimes they become so depressed that they do as my daughter did, and they commit suicide. So a lot of times you want to help and you want to reach out and you want to extend a hand. You have to just show them that you're there, and you really have to support them and continue to be a support system for them. Because if not, they could do several things that you don't want them to harm themselves. They look to using drugs. They could overdose. They could cut themselves. They could do any kind of thing to harm themselves, or someone could harm them, because at this point in their life, they're very vulnerable. The last thing, or my conclusion, is homelessness and mental health really does exist. No one deserves to lose a daughter, a son, a mother, a father, or anyone due to mental health issues and homelessness issues. They can't always speak up for themselves, so they need our voices to speak up for them. And I just would like to say, my personally going through this with my daughter, and watching her go through this and watching people turn her away, was a life-changing event for myself. And I hope that none of you have to experience it and don't have to imagine losing a child that way, our mother that way, our father that way. Thank you for your time.